Hello and welcome back. Today I would like to talk about the little module that unlocks a lot of possibilities. I have so many of them and I use them for a lot of things. From this light that I have here a bar with a light that I can dim with a little knob. A little battery that I built to power one of my motors from the follow focus. This little battery, which can be built in the same way, like I will discuss a little bit later. It has two little batteries like this from a vape cigarette that you can find all over the place. People are just throwing them on the street. Collected some of them, and inside they have even on the bigger ones, like these big ones, they have a huge battery with 1500 milliamps that it can power a lot of things. As well, for these applications can be used this kind of cells, or a smaller one from a LP6 Canon battery. It's one of the cells. They have two inside. There are a lot of types of lithium batteries, like this one, again from a vape. This one, it has, again not written, but it's about 500. Maybe this one a little bit bigger, like 550 or something like this. I started to say that this module has two batteries a little bit smaller, just like a centimeter smaller, with module for charging, which I can charge it with a USB-C cable. You can see here it's a red one, and when it's charged it will light up blue. And in this part it's a module like this, which boosts the voltage from the lithium battery to my desired voltage. In this case it's 5 volts. This little thing, this is packaged, but you can buy them in a big bunch. I bought last time like 20. They're so nice. This little thing can supply from 2 volts to 24 volt up to 5, 9, 12 and 28 volts. So if you have a 2 volt battery, you can boost it up to 28 volt. And for sure you want to start with a lithium-ion battery, because these are the most efficient batteries on today's world. And these little batteries are powering a lot of things nowadays, from the phones to electric scooters, even the Tesla car. And it stores a lot of power and discharge capacity. The same batteries can be even bigger, like this one in here. It's a huge one with a little charger that it's in this application. Again, I will talk about it. It's a lithium-ion module to charge the battery. In this case I have two in parallel to have more than 1 amp. A single module puts outside 1 amp maximum, and wiring two in parallel, I managed to send to this huge battery, which will need a lot of time to charge. Like this I can charge it faster. Maximum will be 2 amps, because only if you have like a speed charger you can add maybe an extra module, because usually 2 amps are outputting most of the USB ports from computers and chargers. So this will be in a different application, but this is a huge battery. So this is the module, and the nice part is that the input voltage can be very low, which is great that you can take a lithium-ion battery which is nominal 3.7 volt and maximum charge of 4.2 volt, and boost it to your desired voltage to power something like a LED strip, 12 volts, or in this case I will show you how you can power a very big device like this one, which is a microphone receiver, which will be powered by this little module with a battery, and it can be used with a battery for several hours. It depends on the capacity of the battery, but you can have more than just a little battery, and you can power it in the same way. This one, it comes with a lavalier mic that you can attach to yourself, and you can make all this thing portable. It's not the most portable thing because this is kind of heavy, but you can put it in your bag with a cable. This is my plan to do, and with a cable I can enter it in my camera, and from my bag will operate on a long distance. I know there are a lot of small ones, but this is a professional unit, and you can use it on sets and portable without the need to have like a main power. The power transformer, it's stated here that it's required 13 volt and 0.25 amps. Very little power, very little amps, and this can provide that easily, and we will measure everything and I will show you how it works. The same way this little thing from a little battery can provide you the juice for a lot of other things, like a camera display or this follow focus. I have as well here, and I will test a little bit later, a view meter for 12 volts. It will power this as well. You can power or make your own phone charger, or you can power a LED strip, a lot of other devices. Any 5 volt USB devices you can power with a thing that small, with the little wires and a USB-C connector. And I will demonstrate here how it can be done, and it's very simple. And I have already made a little circuit with which I will disassemble, but just to talk about it and for testing purpose. So this is the module for charging, and this will charge the battery. This is connected exactly on the input of this module, and if you remove the battery, you can power from 5 volt to 12 volt. So this thing without the battery will power this device as well from USB power, or my view meter up to 2 amps, which a lot of devices are under 2 amps. So this device with the different connector here, it can power a lot of things, and even computer devices, from camera, monitors, displays, to power your keyboard, or like I have here, contact complete keyboard can be powered with battery, like a sound card. In some cases, even a guitar pedal board, if it's not very power hungry. The idea is to have a larger battery. This is kind of a small battery. Or this one. This has here on my last measurement 1230 milliamps, which is this one. It's wrapped in this thing because I wanted to use it outside. Anyways, I will remove this battery just to make one that is more compact, and automatically the blue light turned on because it is detected that it's not charging anymore because I removed the battery. Overall, this is the idea. In this case here, from USB 5 volt, I can get 12 volt here with this module. And from here, it's a 10 turn potentiometer, and I can adjust the voltage from here. And I will show you on the multimeter the voltage that I get. I have 2 different leads here with some crocodile clips. Clip them here on the output. And read the voltage. I will use a little screwdriver. If you need to adjust, you can put a little wheel, which usually I solder very fast, or a little lever. It doesn't matter right now, it's not that important, but can be adjusted. So the way how you turn it, you can increase or decrease the voltage. In this case I need like a 12 volt, so I will leave it to 12.1. If I remove this one, it goes to 0. And the moment I plugged it in, it's again 12 volt. The nice part is that if you put a battery, regardless the input voltage, it will keep the voltage steady like a power regulator, which again it's a very nice thing, because if I remove this module and put a battery, regardless of the input, it will maintain here 12 volt. And the batteries can be one, which will be 3.7 volt nominal, I mean minimum. Below this you should charge it up to 4.2 volt. And if you put two in series, you get more voltage, which is closer to the 12 volt. It lowers the boost effect and it's more efficient. If you need to last longer, or in this case to use to be very compact, you can use a little battery like this, and you can have the both modules attached, wrapped, or in the little box or something like that, and you can have like a portable little battery. These ones as well can be placed like this, with shorter wires, with wires to the battery, and you can have the access to the charging thing, and you can wrap in tape or whatever. You can make also a nice case, and you put everything inside. You can align a lot of batteries like this one. You can find a lot of these ones, and you can put more or bigger ones, and you need just these two modules, ones to charge everything and one to boost. You can put more modules like this, and you can have different outputs from the same battery, and you can charge it with a little one or two in parallel for a faster charge. This is the idea overall. The way how you connect it is very simple. It has like an input. You can solder here as well wires, or you can feed. This is the little charger. You can feed with voltage with wires, 5 volt, or with the USB. And this one, and it has like an output for the battery, plus and minus. And the plus and minus from here, I connected here to the input of this module. And in the same way, you place here the battery like this. And if you place like this the module, from here you charge it. It will charge the battery, and in the same time give the power also from the battery and from the USB as well on this module. If you plug it out, it will remain only the battery to feed this module. So while you are using it, you can also power it with the external USB, like a power brick or from computer, or regardless. Or if you are outside in the nature with your device, regardless what device you use, you can use a power brick and this little battery to be like a backup when you change the power brick or from a laptop to something else. It will keep the voltage and the power to the device because you have this little battery as a kind of backup. If you don't want to use a battery, you can power it from your USB charger or brick or external battery directly to this one to have 12 volt if you have like a different device. Or you can eliminate this and you can put here like a USB connector and you can plug it. I will show you a USB connector that can be used. There are these little USB connectors, female and male, and one can be attached even like this, very easy. It will even align with the soldering. If you solder this part, if you align the thing something like this, you can solder this side and this side, the last pins, and you have like a 5 volt USB input, and you can from your USB to have here 12 volt. The idea is to try to not power devices that require more than 2 amps. The voltage you can go up to 28 volt here as well, very cheap, can be bought like a 10 pieces or 12 or 10 or 20 or even 100 for from China, from charging these lithium-ion batteries. And you can have one for each battery, or you can charge in longer time with one multiple batteries if you put them in parallel. Pretty much this is the idea, and I will connect one of these batteries. The input to the battery plus, which is red, to the plus on the module, which is this one. And the minus to the minus input of this module. As well, this charger, it has battery output plus, which is this side, then it goes to this plus, which is this plus. So plus here is connected. Here as well is connected with this side and this side of the battery. So it's like a little star here. It's just these wires don't have to be that long, but they can be tucked away or whatever. In this case I will wrap them around a little bit just to make it more compact. And this is a regular DC connector, which it will work for LED strips and here I have a 12 volt input. First of all, very important, always measure the output to be sure, because you don't want to put too much of voltage to any device. So I need 12 volts, and the center positive in this case. I have no voltage. I think this battery is drained, so I will charge it first. I'm pretty sure it's drained because it was from these e-cigarettes. I forgot to leave the connector exposed here. It's hard with the to use this. So I will leave this exposed. And input. Here for sure I have the lights on, but are covered, so I will try to reveal them. I have the blue light. This means that it's not charging. But sometimes, because this battery for sure is completely drained, it needs a little bit of time. It's a kind of smart module that it detects the voltage, and if it's not a voltage, it will make little pulses inside the battery to lift the voltage slowly until it reaches a certain the nominal voltage, and after it will send full charging power. So I will leave it for a while and come back. So let's see now if I have the 12 volt. Yeah, I have the 12 volt because I have the input here. So if I remove this, I have just a little voltage, but it's not enough to power the module. So I will leave this on for a while and come back. I will make a little drawing. You have here the battery. This can be big, small. Like you need a decent amount of charging storage. this will be in minus, this will be plus, and from here you have these two modules. This is in and out. And the battery needs this lithium-ion charging module. If you want to use a socket, and you can change the batteries. For pretty much all the batteries there are a lot of options, like a socket with a spring or a weight. It's nice to make like a changeable battery if you want to be on the, you get with you some charged batteries and you are sure that you will have the batteries, and you just change. There are some, like I said, some sockets with a spring here, and you insert the battery like the classic one, and you can change the batteries from there where you want, but it's the same thing pretty much. So from here, USB 5 volt, into the module. From here you go to charge the battery. From the battery, or in the same time you are connected to the module, you go to the voltage booster. And here out to your device. You can have 5 volt, 12 volts, up to 28 volt. At the same time you can connect directly from the charger or USB to the module, and this one, it will take from 2 volts to 24 volt. I'm pretty much sure that if you put 24 volt you cannot get lower than 24 volt. Usually it works like this for boost modules. So if you input here 24 volt, you cannot go here lower to 5 volts, only between 24 and 28 volt if you put 24 volt. So pretty much this is the idea, and from here you can power a lot of things, from LED strips, these displays for camera monitoring if you have like an input. Sometimes they have 5 volts or 12. Mine has also USB-C and 12 volt input, and from there you can power other devices, but usually these are mounted with external batteries. But let's say you want extra, or you find those insufficient or too low, you can put this battery to be a very large battery without the need to buy. Camera batteries are kind of expensive and not that great sometimes. If they are expensive, probably it's better, but like here I have 8 batteries. This will power a day or two, like a monitor or even a camera, like many hours. These are huge. This has each one 4,000 milliamps, a single one. So this will be a lot of milliamps, a lot of amps per hour. You can calculate as well how much your camera is drawing, and you can calculate how much time you can power. In this case, these have a requirement. So if the power supply is 14 volt and 0.25 amps, this means that usually it will draw less than 0.28 amps. From 10.5 volt to 16 volt, 200 milliamps. Two 100 milliamps per hour, a battery of 1500 milliamps, like this one. It will power the device for 1500 milliamps divided by 200 milliamps. My calculation means 7.5 hours, which is huge. So a little battery like this, like this one, will power 7 hours and half that big thing to be the microphone. It depends also how good is the battery, and these ones, the big ones, these ones are made for thousands of discharges and charges, like up to 5,000 or even more, and these ones small because they are kind of disposable, because people are just throw this away in the bin or on the street. I've seen here in United Kingdom in a train station in front of where the train was stopping was a big pit with the railway tracks, and there was hundreds of these small, big, all sorts of electric cigarettes just thrown away there, not even in bin, like for some reason. Anyways, a lack of education, if you ask me. So if you take one of these ones, you will find inside like a battery like this that you can charge hundreds of times, if not thousands of times, for 1500 milliamps. And pretty much this one, despite the fact that can be charged thousands of times, or if it's not quality one, at least a few hundreds of times, they are made to be disposable. So when a charge is gone, this is thrown away. This is a little rant from my side. You can see this saving planet idea, but these are legal to be sold, and all the plastic and the lithium inside and the battery and the pollution is not banned because it's a... So here with this little battery, I have the same thing like here. And in this end, here I have 12 volt. In my case, here I have 12 volt. And I will measure with the multimeter. So I have 12 volt here from USB, and without USB because it's already charged a little bit, I have 12 volt as well. So now if I power this end to my devices, I will power this one. So I'm inserting this. This can be tucked here somewhere on a side or between the antennas or whatever, and I have power. And if I measure these ends, here I will measure the voltage drop. So this is the voltage of the battery right now while it's powering the device. It's still on. And here, if we observe this for a longer period of time, should decrease slowly. So this should be charged up to 4.2 volt and discharged to 3.7 volt. Lower is not recommended because the lithium-ion nominal charge is 3.7 volt, and lower it gets into a chemical process, and in time it degrades. So usually it's stated that lithium-ion batteries should not be left discharged or lower than 3.7 volt. But these ones, if you find these e-cigarettes batteries, they are completely discharged, probably for weeks, for months. I have here some of them that will not work. They are too destroyed inside, or something happened with them. But usually they need like a little bit of boost to be charged. So you can take like a charged battery and connect the leads in parallel with a completely discharged one, or just touch time to time until it reach at least 2 volts in order to properly start to charge the battery. Sometimes you have to so-called jumpstart the battery. I tested this a lot of times with completely discharged batteries that sit it for months from the laptop batteries, or even these ones, and if you can charge them a little bit, it will hold charge for a lot of times. And there are also these chargers that can measure also the charge the battery and discharge and recharge it again, and based on the time it will calculate the amount of power that can store on each, and you can note on each battery, and you can use good ones and to pair multiples and power your devices however you like with these little things. So this will be the little battery for all this device for several hours, and this is the little wonder. The same thing I will show you with a different device. I'm taking this camera display, and here I have 12 volt input, and if I put the connector in, I get here power, and I can power it on, and it works. For how much time, it depends how good is this battery and how much charge will hold. So you can see here, if I disconnect, it will power off. I have here a view meter with 12 volt input, and I get power. This has also blue light. Let me focus it a little bit. So this is the blue light. It has orange light, which is dimmer, and this one is very power hungry, because this unit has inside incandescent light bulbs, and also on top of the lights an LED bar with very small LEDs. So a lot of power there, and it's enough to power that. For how long, it depends how big is this battery. Instead, this battery, if you mount everything on a very big battery, you will have like hours and hours to power with the proper cable, solder a connector. This thing as well, like in this case, you can put the USB to charge it, and it will take how much time, it depends on the capacity. In this case, I have these batteries in parallel, so all of them, they have 3.7 volt nominal, and maximum I can charge them to 4.2 volt. Was a different project to build a portable battery. It's still in work, and I think I kind of said everything that I can say. In this case, I built a little battery to power this follow focus motor. This has 2 little cells, similar with these ones, but a tiny bit smaller, and there are 2 in parallel. And as well, here is the charger, and in this side is the adjustment, and it's adjusted to 5 volt to this end, and I just plug this inside and it powers the device, and I can connect the remote control, which it has inside a battery. And I can control the movement from here, you can see. And this is kind of lightweight, and I can mount it on the camera, or even to make other application, like to make a little self-moving thing. I can put a strip with the same pitch, and it will push a thing, or make like a zoom in, zoom out thing. There are a lot of other ideas. So very easy to make. This stayed for several weeks and is still charged, and from here you can charge it. With red, which means that it's charging, and it will change into blue when it's charged, which is a different LED very close to it, but it will bleed the light in the electrical tape. Everything is very compact, can be even placed into a box or something like that, but for me it's alright. Like this, I have controls to measure, and very lightweight, like a few grams, and you can mount it on the camera, even on the gimbal, like a counterweight, or there somewhere that it will not affect the balance. And like this, you can use this one without the need with a very big power brick. The downside to this follow focus, in my opinion, because this not have inside a battery like the control, and this needs an extra power. And from this one you can take the power and to go to the second one. It's a kind of little battery, but this will use power only when you actually move it, and you move it a few times. And I didn't test it for how long of a time will work, but it's enough to power it for a project or several hours. So I guess this is all, and thanks for watching, and see you next time.